They manipulated and altered and deleted things as wrong. They should not be able to do it, and they have. And for you to be able to look me in the eye knowing that the things are altered and...
You pled guilty, Dan.
Miss Michael, you are not to address the state.
What happens when the woman you once built a family with becomes involved with your own son? This is the true story of Johnathan Willette, a Nevada man whose death led to one of the most unusual and widely discussed murder cases in recent years. At the center of the story is Devyn Michaels. Born in 1978, she spent years working in the adult entertainment industry under various stage names before later transitioning into real estate in the Las Vegas area. Long before her name appeared in true crime headlines, court records showed that she had previously been married to a man named Robert Baker, who was later convicted in an unrelated murder case in Canada. Devyn married Johnathan Willette in 2012. Together, they had 2 daughters. Although the marriage ended in divorce in 2018, the two remained connected through their children and continued to interact over the years. What happened next would become one of the most shocking aspects of the case. According to testimony presented at trial, Devyn developed a relationship with Johnathan's adult son from a previous relationship, Devyn Willette. Investigators said the relationship stretched back years. Eventually, Devyn and Devyn got married, creating an unusual and complicated family situation. During the trial, Devyn testified that she viewed both her marriage to Johnathan and her marriage to Devyn as marriages of convenience rather than traditional romantic relationships. Regardless of how she described them, the relationships became a major focus of the investigation. By the summer of 2023, Devyn's marriage to Devyn appeared to be falling apart. Text messages later shown in court revealed arguments, accusations of infidelity, and discussions about divorce. At the same time, Johnathan was becoming increasingly involved in Devyn's life again. According to evidence presented during the trial, Johnathan had recently asked Devyn to marry him again. He was reportedly preparing to move some of his belongings into her home. One relationship seemed to be ending while another appeared to be starting over. On the night of August 6, 2023, a gas station security camera captured Devyn and Johnathan together shortly after 10 p.m. Cell phone data later placed Devyn at Johnathan's home during the early hours of August 7th. By morning, Johnathan was dead. It was Johnathan's mother, Yoko, who discovered him. She later told investigators that she had heard an unusual noise during the night, but did not think much of it at the time. The following morning, she found her son's body inside the home. Investigators described the scene as one of the most troubling they had encountered. They reported a strong smell of cleaning chemicals throughout the residence, which they believed may have been used in an attempt to destroy evidence. Court records later revealed that not all of Johnathan's remains were recovered. Despite extensive searches, investigators were never able to locate everything they were looking for. As detectives worked the case, search warrants executed at Devyn's home uncovered several of Johnathan's personal belongings, including his wallet, identification card, and social security card. Investigators also traced his phone from his residence to Devyn's home. The phone was eventually found in her driveway and later turned over to police after being discovered by the 2 daughters she shared with Johnathan. When detectives questioned Devyn, she gave her own account of what happened that night. According to her statement, Johnathan had been complaining about back pain, and she was giving him a massage while he was lying face down. She said the two had been talking about their complicated relationship and the possibility of rebuilding their future together. Devyn claimed that during the encounter, Johnathan made unwanted sexual advances toward her and attempted to pressure her into a sexual act. She told investigators that she became upset and struck him with an object. According to her version of events, Johnathan stopped responding afterward. Devyn insisted that she never intended for him to die and said she only meant to hurt him enough that he would need medical attention. During the interview, she admitted that she could not fully explain everything that happened next. When detectives asked whether it was possible she had done things she did not completely remember, she replied that it was very possible. Investigators, however, believed the physical evidence pointed to a much different sequence of events. Prosecutors later argued that the evidence showed a deliberate killing rather than the confrontation Devyn described. The defense, meanwhile, maintained that important questions about that night remained unanswered. Devyn was arrested and charged with murder. Another detail that drew attention was that only days after Johnathan's death, she received probation in an unrelated child abuse case that had already been moving through the court system before the killing occurred. In 2024, Devyn agreed to a plea deal and pleaded guilty to a lesser murder charge in exchange for a reduced sentence. But in July 2025, during what was supposed to be her sentencing hearing, she unexpectedly changed course. Through tears, she told the judge she wanted to withdraw her plea and claimed she could prove her innocence. The case then proceeded to a full jury trial. During the trial, jurors heard testimony about the unusual family relationships, the marriages, the arguments, the text messages, and the events leading up to Johnathan's death. Prosecutors argued that Johnathan's return threatened the life Devyn had built with his son. The defense presented a different theory and suggested another person could have been responsible. Devyn Willette took the witness stand and denied any involvement in his father's death. No evidence placed him at the scene. According to Devyn's testimony, he was at home with Devyn's 2 daughters on the night of August 6, 2023. He told jurors that he put the girls to bed and then texted Devyn to let her know they were asleep. He said he later spoke with her by phone and that nothing about the conversation seemed unusual. Afterward, he went to bed at approximately 10:30 p.m. and testified that he never left the house again that night. According to Devyn, he remained at home until the following morning and had no knowledge of what happened between Devyn and his father after their meeting. He denied any involvement in his father's death and maintained that he was nowhere near the scene when it occurred. After a trial lasting roughly 2 weeks, the jury deliberated for only a short time before reaching a verdict. Devyn Michaels was found guilty of first-degree murder with a deadly weapon. In January 2026, she was sentenced to a combined term of 28 years to life in prison. She will not be eligible for parole until much later in life. Even after the conviction and sentencing, one part of the case remains unresolved. Despite years of investigation, authorities never recovered all of Johnathan's remains. Before sentencing, Devyn offered only a brief statement to the court, telling the family she could not give them the answers they were hoping for. In the aftermath of the tragedy, Johnathan's father and stepmother, Valerie, took custody of his 2 young daughters. Valerie later said that nothing could bring Johnathan back, but that they would do everything possible to give the girls a stable future.